The rain that night had not stopped. It came down in sheets, drumming against the zinc rooftops of Ajegunle. In a small, dimly lit room, two young lovers sat, their fingers intertwined, their hearts heavy with unspoken fears. "Promise me, Chuka," she whispered, her voice quivering. "Promise me that no matter what happens, you will never forget me." Chuka tightened his grip around her fingers. "I promise, Amara. No matter where life takes me, you will always be my only one." They sealed it with a kiss under the leaking ceiling, unaware that the world they'd dreamed of would soon tear them apart. Years later, a single piece of paper would surface, a note that would change everything. Life in Lagos was ruthless. Chuka had dreams, big ones, but dreams didn't fill empty bellies or pay landlords. He struggled, taking odd jobs, bus conductor, market loader, anything to keep afloat. Amara, beautiful and ambitious, grew weary of the life they shared. The promises they made in that rainy room began to fade, like old ink on paper. "I can't keep living like this, Chuka," she said one evening, throwing her few belongings into a worn-out travel bag. "I deserve better. Please, Amara, just a little more time. I swear things will change." She looked at him, pity mixing with frustration. "Love isn't enough. Dreams aren't enough. I need a man who can give me a future now." And just like that, she left. Chuka stood at the doorway, watching the love of his life disappear into the swirling Lagos crowd, a gaping hole tearing through his heart. Meanwhile, Amara moved into the apartment of a wealthy businessman, Mr. Obina, who promised her the world: dinners at Radisson Blu, shopping trips to Dubai, and all the luxuries she once dreamed of flowed freely. But the cost was her independence and slowly her self-worth. Betrayal can destroy a man, or it can ignite him. For Chuka, it was the latter. He decided he would never be humiliated again. He immersed himself in learning. Nights at internet cafes watching free coding tutorials, days repairing broken computers to save money. His breakthrough came when he developed an app that helped small market traders manage their sales and inventory. One rainy afternoon, while fixing a computer for a cafe owner, Chuka met Mr. Hassan, a venture capitalist intrigued by Chuka's app idea. Mr. Hassan offered to fund him in exchange for 30% equity. With sweat, grit, and sheer resilience, Chuka built MarketMate, an app that exploded in popularity across Nigeria's small businesses. Investors poured in. Zenitech Solutions was born. By 28, Chuka was a tech tycoon. Contracts from government parastatals, partnerships with international firms, awards, and accolades followed. His face graced magazine covers. Chuka Obazi, Nigeria's billionaire tech prodigy. But amid the celebrations, one memory lingered: Amara. It was at the Zenith Awards Gala, Lagos' most prestigious event, that fate intervened. Chuka, clad in an impeccably tailored tuxedo, was sipping champagne when he saw her. Amara, older, yes, but still breathtaking. Her gown shimmered under the chandelier lights. For a brief moment, the years melted away. Their eyes met. She approached, hesitant. "Chuka," she breathed, a mixture of awe and regret flooding her voice. "Amara," he said, smiling faintly. She laughed nervously. "Wow, you've really made it." "Yes," he said simply. I, "I've thought about you," she stammered. "About us." He tilted his head, feigning curiosity. "Have you?" She placed a hand lightly on his arm. "Maybe we could pick up where we left off." Chuka smiled, a glint in his eye. Maybe. But he had one condition. They met the following week at his private estate on Banana Island. "Tell me, Amara," he said, lounging by the pool. "Why now?" She hesitated. "I made a mistake. I was young, foolish. And now that I'm wealthy," he pressed, his voice soft but sharp. "It's not about the money," she cried. "I never stopped loving you." He chuckled darkly. "Love? Please, Chuka, give us another chance." He leaned forward, eyes piercing hers. "I'll take you back, Amara. but only if you fulfill one condition. Anything, she said eagerly. He smiled coldly. Marry me and sign a prenuptial agreement. She blinked, confused. A prenup? Yes, everything I own stays mine. If you leave again, you leave with nothing. She swallowed hard. And one more thing, he added. For 1 full year, you will live as we did, back in Ajegunle, in poverty. No drivers, no luxury, just us. Her mouth fell open. If you truly love me, Amara, this should be easy, he said quietly. Against all odds, she agreed. The mansion gates closed behind them. They moved into a modest apartment on the mainland. No maids, no private chefs. She sold her designer handbags and jewelry to afford food. Weeks turned to months. She washed, cooked, and struggled. But Ken, ever watchful, never complained. At night, they sat on the tiny balcony sharing stories under the stars, much like old times. Yet, cracks began to show. Amara missed the luxury, the comfort. The rich suitors who once begged for her attention no longer called. Mr. Obinna, who once showered her with gifts, was now married to a younger woman. And Chuka, he remained calm, almost detached, studying her like a scientist observing a specimen. One evening, after a particularly brutal day, Amara exploded. Is this some kind of punishment? She shouted. You're rich, Chuka. Why are we living like this? He regarded her coolly. Because love isn't proven in comfort, it's proven in struggle. Tears spilled down her cheeks. I can't do this. Then leave, he said simply, standing and walking away. She stared after him, realizing he hadn't fought for her to stay. That night, she packed her bags once again. History was repeating itself. At the doorstep, she found an envelope. Curious, she opened it. Inside was the note she had written all those years ago in the rain. Promise me that no matter what happens, you will never forget me. Taped beside it was a new note, written in Chuka's bold handwriting. I kept my promise. Did you? Sobbing, she realized the truth. Chuka had loved her beyond measure, but she had failed him. Again. Months later, at a charity event hosted by Chuka, he stood on stage, introducing his new fiancée, a kind-hearted woman who had stood by him during his darkest days. Amara watched from the crowd, heartbroken but wiser. She clapped along with the others, forcing a smile. She had lost Chuka, not because of poverty, not because of wealth, but because she had failed the ultimate test of love. She turned away before the tears could fall, clutching the memory of a love she had once thrown away. Later that night, as guests mingled, Amara approached him. Congratulations, Chuka, she said softly. He smiled kindly. Thank you, Amara. I just wanted to say I'm sorry. I know, he said. For a long moment, they stood silently. Then he reached into his pocket and handed her a folded piece of paper. As she opened it, her breath caught. It was a check, enough money to start her own life anew. Not because you deserve it, he said gently, but because I loved you once. Tears blurred her vision as he turned and walked away, hand in hand with his fiancée. Amara stood alone under the glittering Lagos sky, realizing that some mistakes can never be undone, and some promises once broken can never be repaired.
Please like, subscribe, comment, and share for more captivating stories.